Africa's investment world. This podcast is brought to you by Daba, your most comprehensive platform for investing in African stocks, bonds, and managed funds. You can download the Daba app on your favorite Google and Apple app stores. Yesterday's trading session was a mixed bag. On the one hand, the main indexes pulled back slightly. On the other hand, individual companies stood out with strong gains. And this teaches us a classic investing lesson. Even when the market overall declines, there are always opportunities for those who know where to look. Top gainers. Let's begin with the best performing stocks of the day. SICOR Côte d'Ivoire rose 7%, closing at 3,935 francs CFA. This is a strong rebound, even though over the past year the stock is still slightly down. For investors, the rise signals renewed confidence in the industrial sector, which is highly sensitive to economic cycles. Bernabé Côte d'Ivoire, a major player in the distribution of construction materials, jumped 6% to 1,190 francs CFA. Over the last year, the stock has gained 77%. That's almost doubling in value. This reflects the strength of the construction and infrastructure sector in West Africa. For investors, Bernabé is essentially a bet on urban growth and the modernization of regional economies. Uniwax Côte d'Ivoire climbed nearly 5% to 760 francs CFA. This textile company confirms its comeback, with an extraordinary 85% gain over the year. For anyone looking to diversify away from banks and telecoms, Uniwax is a reminder that manufacturing and creative industries in West Africa can deliver strong results. TotalEnergies. Mali and Senegal gained 3.6%. The energy sector continues to show resilience. With a yearly performance of 12%, the company demonstrates how demand for fuel remains stable in the region despite global volatility in oil prices. Finally, SAPH Côte d'Ivoire, a leader in natural rubber, rose almost 3% to 6,945 francs CFA. Over the year, SAPH has gained nearly 68%. This is proof of the strength of Côte d'Ivoire's agro-industrial sector. For investors, the lesson is clear. Commodities such as rubber remain an attractive long-term play. Top losers. On the losing side, let's start with NEI-CEDA Côte d'Ivoire. Down 3% to 600 francs CFA. Over the past year, it has lost 20%. The company, active in publishing and education materials, is under pressure as digital alternatives gain ground. Palm Côte d'Ivoire fell 2.6% to 8,950 francs CFA. Still, the stock is up 77% over the past year, so the decline should be seen as a technical correction after a very strong run. Oragroup Togo dropped 2.3% to 1,110 francs CFA. The bank is still down 11% over the year. This shows that the Togolese banking sector faces structural challenges, including growing competition and profitability pressure. Orange Côte d'Ivoire declined 2% to 14,700 francs CFA. Over 12 months, it has lost 16%. For investors, this is a reminder that even leaders in telecom are vulnerable to slowing growth and margin squeeze. Finally, Société Générale Côte d'Ivoire closed at 25,555 francs CFA, down 1.7% on the day, but it remains 22% higher year-to-date, proof that Ivorian banks as a whole still deliver robust returns. Market indexes. Let's now take a look at the indexes. The BRVM Composite closed at 318.59 points, down 0.72% for the session. But importantly, the index is still up 15% since the beginning of the year. This shows that despite day-to-day volatility, the overall trend remains positive. The BRVM 30 index declined 0.85%, but it is still up 11% this year. The Prestige index lost 0.63%, and the Principal index slipped 0.59%. These declines were broad-based, suggesting general pressure across both large-cap and smaller companies. For investors, this is a classic reminder. Markets do not move in straight lines. Pullbacks are often healthy and create new entry points at better prices. Bonds and debt market. Moving on to the bond market, which was very active. Bond market capitalization fell slightly by 0.15%, but trading volume surged by nearly 700%, and the value of transactions also increased more than 700%. This indicates that institutional investors, banks, pension funds, and insurance companies are very active in strengthening their positions in regional debt. Several government bonds from Mali and Senegal were among the most traded. For example, Mali's 10-year bonds issued in 2028 and Senegal's 8-year bonds maturing in 2030 both attracted significant volumes. These instruments offer annual coupon rates above 6%, which remains attractive in today's environment where global interest rates are trending downward. So, what does this mean for you as an investor? Bonds remain a solid way to generate stable income. When you buy a government bond, you are essentially lending money to the state, and in return, you receive annual interest payments. It's a strategy that balances the risk of stock investments by providing fixed returns. Sector overview. Sector performance was also mixed. The discretionary consumer sector rose 1.1%, driven by Bernabé and Uniwax. Agriculture gained 0.3%, supported by SAPH. On the downside, the industrial sector fell nearly 3%, pulled lower by several manufacturing names. Telecommunications declined 1%, weighed down by Orange Côte d'Ivoire. For investors, tracking sector performance is essential. It shows where opportunities are emerging and where caution is needed. What this means for investors. So, why is all of this important for you? If you are a long-term investor, the 15% rise of the BRVM Composite this year confirms the underlying growth story of West Africa's capital markets. If you are a short-term trader, the strong daily moves in stocks such as Bernabé, Uniwax, and SAPH demonstrate that there are opportunities to capture quick gains, but also risks that require careful monitoring. And if you are risk-averse, the bond market remains a valuable option. Stable income, lower volatility, and portfolio diversification. Transition to Daba Pro. To fully take advantage of these opportunities, it's essential to have access to expert analysis, weekly recommendations, and the right tools to act quickly. That is exactly what Daba Pro offers. With Daba Pro, you receive weekly stock picks, exclusive reports on market sectors, and lower fees when you invest. In other words, you don't just follow the markets, you stay ahead of them. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Daba Markets Talk podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with another update. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating, follow us, and share with friends. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. Always do your own research or consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. And download the Daba app on your App Store to start investing in African stocks, bonds, and manage portfolios through your phone and find other helpful content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing your financial knowledge.